is the Political Spotlight.
The Political Spotlight is a joke. It's more like a political flop.
Nobody listens to Bilbrey.
He's just a wannabe podcaster. No one takes him seriously.
He is a rude, crude dude that will never go any further than broadcasting from his mother's basement.
Bilbrey is a wrecking ball for Indiana politicians.
Grab another box of Twinkies and generic cola, Bilbrey,
And get back to your microphone and your audience of nobodies.
The Political Spotlight is a joke. It's
He is like a rude, crude dude that will never go
Bilbrey's a wrecking ball for Indiana politics. Shut that stupid Bilbrey up.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Welcome. It is Tuesday, June 16th, 2026. I hope you're all doing well. We've had a good day today. We were not here last night, and I apologize for that, but we had a couple of things that we needed to take care of, storm-related from last week. We had some trees we needed to get taken care of, and we had some neighbors to help and some things to go with there. So we're nearly done with all of that, but I decided to take the evening off last night and just kind of rest a little bit. And I've been looking into a couple of things that I'm working on for the near future here at the show, and a couple things that hopefully we'll be doing here. And then we've been looking ahead at what's going to happen this weekend. Of course, we have a busy weekend planned. Of course, this weekend is the 2026 Indiana State Republican Convention up in Fort Wayne, and we're going to be taking a look at what's going on. As of right now, I plan to be going to that event, and I'll keep you guys posted. If you want to get a hold of us, you can get a hold of us down below at our phone number. Our emails are there. You can also look at where we can be seen over here. Obviously, YouTube is number one. If you're watching on Facebook or Rumble or whatever, we appreciate you watching, but we would ask maybe in the future at some point you consider sliding on over to YouTube and subscribing, hitting the like button. There's ways that you can help us over there, and it doesn't cost you a dime. It's absolutely free. Brenda, I know that you tried calling, and I need to call you back. Actually, I need to call back two Henry County people as we speak. I need to call back Brenda, and I need to call back Rachel. I need to call both of you women back. I will get a hold of you. I don't know if you're going to be up when we get off the show. If you're awake, what I'll tell you I will do, so I don't wake you up if you are asleep. I won't text you. But when the show is over, I will send you a Facebook message. And if you're up, I can connect with you. Or if you know that you're going to be asleep, let me know, and I can call you tomorrow. But I will get back with you, and I apologize for that. I've been dealing with a couple different things, but I will get back with you on that. Man, I'm telling you, we just keep being inundated with things. I hated being off yesterday. Yesterday, of course, was Monday. And we had a lot to talk about, but I needed to take that evening off, and we're back. We're going to cover it all this evening, get everything taken care of, and we'll get it all in. Before we get started, I feel like I would probably be a bad host if I didn't notify you guys that again tonight, like last Thursday, we are apparently under the gun for some weather. I'm hearing again, like last Thursday, I was unaware of this. And the reason I'm unaware of it is because it's just so cool outside. I just don't see us having severe weather here today. There might be severe weather in Indiana, and if you are watching this elsewhere outside of our area, you might keep an eye to the sky, maybe even if you're in Indiana, specifically in the Muncie, Delaware County area. But I just I don't see it happening here tonight. Now, they are saying, and we will go ahead and give this warning, They are saying that tomorrow is supposed to be a pretty hairy day in the evening. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. We'll follow that as it is, but apparently tomorrow is supposed to be a little out there, so we'll have to kind of watch what goes on. I'm of course, I don't know, but we will watch that, and if it's happening during the show, we will continue to keep you guys updated with what's happening, as we always do. But yeah, I'm not. Give me 1 second. I've got to enter my password in to my laptop, and I don't understand why I shouldn't have to do that. Let me make sure we've got this going here. Okay, sorry about that. I just needed to get that in. I needed to get that hooked up before things were going. It was going crazy. You never sleep. It does seem like that. I know it seems like that, but I promise I do get some good sleep. I promise that I do actually sleep. I know it seems like I don't, but I promise you guys out there, I do sleep, and we do get things taken care of and refreshed here at the homestead. I promise you, I do sleep. Yeah, I don't see anything crazy on. I don't see anything crazy going on here in East Central Indiana. There is a pretty sizable storm cell north of Noblesville right now. And it looks like it might hit people in the Newcastle area. So if you're in Newcastle, I know we've got a lot of people from Henry County. You guys might want to watch what's going on down there, but I don't foresee it being anything. Definitely nothing around here in East Central Indiana like we had last Thursday. Now, tomorrow, it might be a different story. I don't know, but at least for tonight, I think that we're probably okay. Now, we are still under a severe thunderstorm watch, so that might be something that you guys, I don't know. I just don't see it happening here. Oh my. I'm looking at a picture here. Give me 1 second. I want to put this up. This is such an amazing shot that was just taken. Now this was just taken outside just as we speak. Kate, if I send this to you, can you put this up in the overlays? Give me 1 second here. I'll send this to you. Wow, this was just taken as we're speaking here. So, okay, let me look at this thing here on the laptop, and then we will get started because we do have quite a bit of material to get through this evening. Let me see here. Thank you, Kate. Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking at the movement here. Now it's moving. My monitor wasn't showing movement. So, it's moving pretty much directly east. We might get a little bit of a punch here in about 20 minutes, but it seems like it'll go pretty quickly. And it doesn't look like it's going to be too crazy. So it doesn't look like it's going, moving southeast. It looks like it's moving basically directly across. And wow, amazingly, right here in my neck of the woods, we're going to get like the biggest chunk. And it looks like it's going to be coming through. I was completely wrong on what I just said, but it doesn't look like it's going to be like severe. Just going to be some rain and maybe a little bit of wind. It's going to be right at about 9:30, and then it'll move through quickly. So we'll keep our eye on that, but nothing major. Hey, if you want the weather, turn to Ryan Hall, y'all. That's not me. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So tonight we are talking about some things from all over. We're dealing with some things on the local level. We're going to be talking about Delaware County, the Delaware County Commissioners Meeting from yesterday, Monday, June 15th, 2026. We're going to be talking about the Muncie City Parks Board meeting, which just ended a little bit ago. It started tonight, Tuesday, June 16th, 2026 at 6 p.m. We're going to be talking about those two meetings. Then we're going to move on to state level topics, and we're going to be talking about J.D. Prescott and his statewide tour that he is on promoting House Bill 1288. And then we're going to move on to national topics, and I'm going to give you my thoughts about the UFC fight from Sunday that took place at the White House. And so we're going to be talking about those three things, and that's what we're going to be talking about. If you noticed, for those that did not maybe see, maybe you didn't notice or not, this is the 684th episode of the podcast, and this is a title from Latin. We have titled the show Latin, and I'm not 100% sure if anyone took the time to look this up and decide what this was, to find out if you could find out what this was. I don't know if anyone took that time to do that or not. Panem et circenses. That's close enough, for those of you. If any of you can say it better, message me and we'll pull you up and have you say it. Panem et circenses is what I've found in the pronunciation keys. And essentially, it means bread and circuses. Bread and circus, and this is a warning given to us by the Roman satirist Juvenal. We'll say that's okay too, who was writing about 100 AD, and it is a warning given to the people of his time. And the warning today, it is very much something that resonates today. It should resonate with us today. And I think that tonight's topics are specifically the national topic is where I pulled that from, and is what we are going to be talking about tonight. The phrase being it's nearly 2,000 years old. I think from 2026 back to 100 AD is 1,926 years. So we'll just round it to 2,000. It's close enough. It's remarkably relevant in our modern world, bread and circuses. The expression comes from the Roman satirist Juvenal, writing, as I stated, in 100 AD during the height of the Roman Empire. The satirist observed that the citizens of Rome had once been deeply involved in public life. And see, this is something that I've said for a long time. If you look at the people back then, they sat around and discussed ideas and topics, and they had all of these wonderful philosophers and people that, were interested in politics and the goings on of the day, trying to figure out, where we came from and what the meaning of life was. And now today it's like we're so focused on, these little phones and what's on Facebook and what kind of pictures of our food that we can take, and all of this nonsense that people are just kind of like dumbing us down, and it's like we are living the living out idiocracy is in, like, it's like historical fiction, I guess. Something, it's like, how did they know that that's what it was going to be like? It's so crazy to me, specifically with this UFC fight that was at the White House the other night. Really crazy. So we're going to be talking about that. And Before we get there, though, I do want to talk about the meeting of the Delaware County Commissioners on Monday, and there are specifically 2 points of interest at the commissioners meeting, from the commissioners meeting. And I want you guys to be able to see this. If you did not watch this, of course, as we basically, I laid this out last Wednesday or Thursday. I said that I had heard from sources within the Delaware County government stating that the director of the EMA, John Coutinho, was all but fired. Basically, the board had voted, I think they voted on like the 10th. Their body had basically made the recommendation that the commissioners should terminate John Coutinho as the EMA director as a result of the investigation that has been going on. And they wanted them to do that. And so basically the commissioners' vote was basically a formality, which is, it is what it is. It has to happen for that action to happen. But I was told that last Wednesday or Thursday, and so we had to wait until the meeting. And so I was waiting for that. But then I was also interested in what would be happening with the credit card situation. So we are going to jump in here to the Delaware County Commissioners Meeting, and we are going to watch what happens here. We're not going to watch the entire meeting. I did watch the entire meeting live, and I will just say the meeting lasted nearly 3 hours. So I bet Sherry wasn't happy. And there were times when she would like sigh and make these noises. So like, I guarantee you, when they actually, they did like a little 7-minute break at one point in the meeting. And when they came back and they got started, she started the meeting off with like a very long drawn out sigh. And I was like, oh God, I know she's not happy about what's happening. And I was happy as all get out, because I think that these people, should be working until the job is done. Not saying, well, we need to cut this down to 50 minutes or 60 minutes. That's complete nonsense. If she can't do the job, she needs to resign and let somebody else do it. So we are going to get to the point of the meeting where they are specifically talking about the EMA director. That is pretty much my main focus of this meeting. That was my main focus of the meeting. I didn't really care about anything else other than the credit card thing. But number one was what they would do with John Coutinho. So give me 1 second here, and we will get this. We will get this pulled up here so you guys can take a look at what's going on here. Now, I also shared the agenda. All right, let me get this pulled up here, and we'll go through it. Okay, there's that. We'll get this started here.
Good morning. My name is Kathy Van Ice, and
inside there. I believe this would also, if we did, this software will cover
development, site selector, corporate advisor.
for labor.
Yeah,
You have them separate Justice Center too, not just the county building.
Right.
That still needs pulled and
contacted.
mentioned. We have the jurisdiction and the authority, and we have
again
York.
what we're talking about now.
just the cartograph portion.
Here to take
Amendment number 2.
Are rejoining the Japan America Society.
What point in the meeting was this?
Okay, first I just brought you a copy of the 2025 annual report from the Muncie Action Plan, so you can peruse that and see some of the work that we do, which revolves directly around neighborhood association support. The other document that I dropped off is a list of what we would call problem properties within Hyde Park. I've been working with the neighborhood association, the neighborhood, for a couple of weeks now. We first met in March. We had about 8 residents come out to that initial meeting. And then I drove the neighborhood with another neighbor.
Okay,
and got
I
a
got it.
feel
Here we
of
go.
what the issues were in the community. And those.
Is there any comment on building hours? I don't disagree. I've had feedback.
Facility mapping toolkit.
Which is why I said for phase 3, the third year, I don't know that we'll actually.
This at their monthly town board last Tuesday.
That is actually wrong. It should be 2.
And I didn't find concrete.
Yeah, not to fit this one.
Okay.
We've had some issues, so I'm gonna get with Diggs and see if they can come up with any kind of something
Retrofit.
universal. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, put the wrong road on there too.
Make a motion to approve the.
It's a square riser is what it is.
Informed all night long that night, like all night long. So, but I do appreciate that, and I appreciate him stepping into that position and that did involve charges filed.
Okay, here we are.
Committee together with some recommendations, and it's nothing that's real.
Now there's a couple of all right, but before we go on to the EMA, there was something that happened right before the EMA, and I want you guys to listen to this. This is very interesting to me.
In the meantime, but we can move this to old business. It can be on the first Monday in July.
Is there anyone here to speak about that issue at all?
Listen, I want you. All right, listen to
I
this.
would definitely like to get traffic counts out
And
there.
I want the people of Henry County to specifically listen to this. I want the people of Henry County to listen to what our Delaware County Commissioners are getting ready to talk about. Okay, listen to this.
Can you guys get traffic counts for that, please?
That'd be nice.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
we'll move that to old business.
Need a motion on that.
We do not.
Okay, building hours.
Listen,
I was surprised to.
This is Delaware County Commissioner, President of the Commissioners, Sherry Riggin, is getting ready to talk about the building hours for Delaware County government. Okay, listen.
See this on the agenda, although it did come up in a department heads meeting that our hours are not the friendliest for the public. So since my name is down here, I guess I need to put a little committee together with some recommendations. And it's nothing that's real urgent, but it does need to be looked at because we work here at the county building 8:30 to 4. And for the public to get here, it does make them have to take maybe an afternoon off or whatnot. So I don't know which way this is going to go, but it's down here and I'll be glad to head this up. And if anybody'd like to volunteer, I'll take your calls. That being said, now Commissioner Henry.
All right, before we move on to the EMA topic, I don't know where this came from. I don't know why she brought that up. I'm going to reach out and see if I can figure out if something's happened, but I agree with that totally. And she would go from being on one of my shit list politicians to being one of the number one politicians if she was able to do something here. Now, I don't know what they would be willing to do. I don't know. I mean, I think at one point in here, they're like, maybe we'll shift it from 8 to 4 to 8:30 to 4:30. Dude, that's a joke. All right. Whatever. That's nonsensical. What they need to do, and I want listen to this real quick.
Is there any comment on building hours?
I don't disagree.
Listen right here. Brand says, I don't disagree. Listen to this.
I've had feedback from the community, people that work day shift. It's difficult to get here between the time of 8:30 and 4. Most people go.
Okay, so right, no, I was wrong. So their hours currently are 8:30 and 4. So listen to me. It's not like they're talking about having hours like from 7, which is before a lot of people work, and 4. They're 8:30 to 4. All right, the absolute most asinine time possible, because most normal people, most businesses, they close at 5. So you get off work and the county building's closed. But if you got to be at work at 9, you're going there at 8:30. So it's not like you can get in here. All the meetings are in the daytime for the county. It's absolutely ridiculous. So listen to what he says. And he's right. He's heard a lot of feedback. And if anyone in county government says they haven't heard feedback, they are liars, because people have bitched about this since the beginning of time. Okay, so let's continue on here.
Work before that and get off after that. The 8:30 to 4 is a 7.5 hour span of time. Lunch is.
So what they currently work is less than what most people work. It's a 7.5 hour span of time. Plus, a lot of people are their lunches are closed.
Is inside there. I believe this would also, if we did expand, I'll make up a story here and say we move them to 8 to 4:30. It could allow flexibility for the employees who prefer to work.
They're talking about he literally said they would back it back. They would open from 8 to 4:30. Whoa, Brand, are you for real? How about we do an 8 to 7? How about we do an 8 to 8? What about something like that? Okay, all right, not knocking him because they're just talking, and I know Brand's a robot. Brand's like, well, what do you mean? By 8 o'clock in the morning, I've already been up 6 hours. What are you talking about? That shouldn't be a problem.
Work earlier or later. So in addition to increasing public access, I think it could offer some additional flexibility for some of the employees if we were to expand the building hours. And I think at the Justice Center too, not just the county building.
Right. And I'd be happy just to have one night a week, a little bit longer hours, but
one night a week. Listen, now it's not all nights. It's not, that's a big deal. All right. That's a big deal. If maybe they don't change anything, but on Thursdays, they set it up to where they're open till 8 p.m. That would be that act alone would be one of the greatest things that local government had done to assist the people in the community that have to deal with any of these jokers. That would be an amazing act. I'm telling you, I am going to be very vocally in supportive of this, and I appreciate them for talking about it. I appreciate Sherry for even throwing that out, and we need to be very vocal about this. This needs to happen. I can get up there anytime I want. Brand has no problem getting there. He's retired. He can do what he wants. A lot of people are retired, but a lot of people aren't. And let me tell you, the retired people aren't going up there and paying support. They're not going up here and having to deal with this stuff. People, if they could fix this would be a big thing. And I just want to do one thing here. I want to throw this back to all of the jokers in Henry County that gave that guy, I forget what his name is, BJ Taffy or something. They gave him a hard time. Now, BJ probably wasn't the right person for that job, whatever. This is not me batting for BJ. This is me batting for the idea that BJ talked about and everybody blew him a bunch of shit for. Ooh, it would be too difficult to talk about. Listen, these jokers here on our screen are some of the most non-friendly, non-caring about helping the public out, whatever. And if they are able to talk about this, I know that the people in Henry County could figure it out, because the people in Henry County do have some good elected officials down there. So blowing BJ a bunch of shit for what he said about trying to be more open to the public was just always something that I was not for. I always thought that I liked that idea. And I really push all other governments locally to try and move towards doing something like this. Indianapolis does it. And I will tell you that this is serious, something that I support and we need to support. So I really like this. All right, we're moving on now to the EMA thing.
We'll look and see. Thank you. Commissioner Henry.
Okay, next we're going to discuss the Executive Director for Emergency Management. Everyone knows there's been a investigation going on with the county that did involve charges filed last week or week before. With that being said, the Emergency Management Advisory Council met June 10th. That was last Wednesday. The majority of the council was there in attendance, and there was a few online. And a vote was taken in regards to the current executive director, the status of him being how do I want to say this?
So on paid leave.
Yeah, he's been on paid leave since March, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. And it was a vote of no confidence.
And it was a vote of no confidence taken at that meeting Wednesday. And also they requested the removal of the individual from that executive director position. So the recommendation to the commissioners is that that individual be removed from that position. So with that being said, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Now, before we go on here, before we hear anything that they've got to say, before anything else that happens here, I just want to say, firstly, it's insane how difficult it was for Shannon Henry to poop those words out of his mouth. Like, what was he doing there? He's on. You know why that was so difficult for him? Because he is so intimately connected to what went down. Like, he's probably scared himself. He's probably rightfully, as he should be. Now, nothing's going to happen and they're not going to ding him, but they should. I think Shannon Henry, I'll be honest, the longer this goes on, the more I believe that Shannon Henry and Mike Ashley should be very worried. They're not going to have to be, but I feel that they should be. I feel that this should probably cost Mike Ashley his job. That sucks. Because other than this, Mike's been a pretty decent person. But this, I think, was something that was just a problem. I think that this should really, really be an issue for Shannon Henry. Of course, he's not running for re-election, so it doesn't matter. But legally, I just call into question what he was doing during this time. And it's crazy to me. But all right, we're going to listen to what they do. Yeah, Jackie, very strange. It was like he couldn't mention his name. It was so strange. Like, what's the deal? Why did that? It took him exactly too long to be able to get that out.
Commissioner Bram. Yes. Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
And at the same time, that council also made a recommendation that Deputy Director Corey Kissick be placed into the Executive Director position. Mr. Kissick is very qualified for that. He's been running that department exceptionally well since March. There was some, we had storms this week, which I think he's prepared to get up and talk about here in just a little bit, but that office managed those storms great. So I was very happy with the way they performed. And Mr. Kissick, he kept me informed all night long that night, like all night long. So
No, that board did not talk about Ashley, because that board is only over the emergency management agency. They're not over the EMS. So they don't regulate the EMS. They only regulate the EMA.
I do appreciate that, and I appreciate him stepping into that position and taking that. So
I'd make a motion to promote Deputy Director Corey Kissick to the Executive Director's role of the Emergency Management Department, provided that the job descriptions be thoroughly reviewed and amended to insulate against a few things that we should be insulating against, and that provided that Mr. Kissick will sign the amended job description.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Commissioner Brand.
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Okay.
So, what you just heard right there, ladies and gentlemen, was, and for whatever reason, I've never understand why they had such a hard time saying what happened. On March 23rd, 2026, the Delaware County Commissioners, these three jokers, called a special meeting to suspend Mike Ashley and this gentleman on screen right here, John Coutinho. And they suspended them because this gentleman, John Coutinho's wife, this woman right here, was, when she was serving as the office manager for Delaware County EMS, she was allegedly cobbing on to lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of tax dollars. Okay. Just for the record here, by that time, she had already allegedly stolen upwards of, and more than likely, $3,848.04 from Delta High School golf boosters, of which her kids were a part of. Now, she allegedly also paid back $3,000, meaning that she still owes them technically $48.04. But I'm hearing from Delta High School kids, parents, all kinds of people telling me that she took way more than that. That's just what they had. Okay. And then by all of this time, over her several years of working at Delaware County, in her various roles, she had taken this amount of money, $5,302.64 plus $7,000 even, plus $14,408.15 plus let me take off my socks and shoes and call a couple helpers in here. Kate, you ready? $181,749.93 for a grand total of $208,460.72. And then even on top of that, she barred the county for a period of time from having access to an additional $12,032.83. Now, there was a point where I had another question because it seemed as though they didn't calculate up the full figure, and there was an amount in there that it didn't look like they had totally given us the total amount. I have talked to sources in connection with this, and that was just kind of a miswriting that total was, the total that I had in question was actually included in the $5,302.64. So those figures are as they are. The only place where it seems as though there's possibly still money missing that we're unaccounted for is Delta High School, and that sucks. To me, that's almost, that amount of money is almost worse than the amount that she took from the taxpayers, because she's stealing it from her own kids. She's stealing it from her kids' friends. Just absolutely horrible in my mind. So she resigned. She's been arrested. Now, she has still not been technically charged. Okay. But the reason I'm hearing that she's not being charged is because they're actually looking for more possible charges that fit under the crime she's allegedly committed. That being said, with this man's removal from this position, the director of the Delaware County Emergency Management Agency, I look for his arrest to be almost any day. I think that he will be arrested at any day now. Okay. With that removal, though, they then had to put this gentleman. Okay. This is Corey Kissick, and Corey Kissick is was the deputy director of the EMA. Okay. He was the deputy director, and he has been the acting fill-in director during this suspension. He's done a good job. And from everything that I have heard, and for what I personally know of this young guy here, he's done a great job. He's been a good person. Kissick has demonstrated a commitment to public safety throughout his adult life, serving as the assistant fire chief for the Albany, Delaware Township Fire Department, and proudly continuing a family tradition as the fifth-generation firefighter. Corey plays an active role in emergency response and preparedness as a member of the Delaware County Hazmat Team, and contributes to the Delaware County Local Emergency Planning Committee and the Indiana District 6 Emergency Management and Healthcare Coalition. Kissick's extensive public safety background includes prior roles as a police officer with the Albany Police Department and as a supervisor at Delaware County Emergency Communications E911. In recognition of his dedication and exemplary service, Corey has received 2 life-saving awards and 2 emergency management Bronze Stars. These honors were awarded for his leadership as an operations section chief during the March 2023 tornadoes that affected Delaware and Randolph counties, and for his involvement in Eastern Kentucky disaster deployment in September of 2022. So I think that the department is being left in good hands. And yeah, dude, as a big-eared kid myself, old boy's got some ears. I will give him that as well. So that's that. Who's saying they can't hear us? I don't know. Somebody's saying they can't hear us. Oh, yeah. No, it's Jeff. Jeff's having problems. It might be the weather in your neck of the woods or wherever you're at. I want to respond really quickly to this because Alva said, I do believe Mike will be investigated. I believe he's already being investigated. I think they're already looking into him. Then Concerned Citizen says this: they will never find Mike doing anything wrong in a criminal way. He's guilty of being lazy and trusting people, but it's not him. While I will absolutely agree with you that I don't think he was holding the gun, robbing the bank, I don't think he did anything criminal. This should cost him his job, though, and it sucks. Sometimes there's consequences in life, you know. This should cost him his job. What he did here is bad. Now, I will tell you, because that's something else you've told me over the years, is that he does not hang with Henry and John. But I will tell you, I have heard throughout the years, the last couple, that he has buddied up with them. And, you know, being in those roles, I don't know. I don't think he's a bad guy. I know that he's not a bad guy. I personally know he's not a bad guy. But to allow this to happen as the direct supervisor, he's a bloody idiot. And this should cost him his job. and that sucks. But he'll land. He'll bounce back. You can go be in EMS anywhere. It is what it is. So, but this is definitely a problem, and I just think that it's a bigger problem than 3 days of unpaid. So, okay, that's that. Now, the last thing that I want to cover here in the situation is there's I forgot all about this. It's been a couple of days. I want to cover a couple of other brief topics here before we leave off of the Delaware County Commissioners meetings, because there's a couple of other really important topics that they cover. And I thought it was just going to be the credit cards, but let's listen here.
Department heads that are utilizing OpenGov, and our department heads have contacted those counties to look for.
So, the big OpenGov thing that we've been talking about, and those 3 salesmen came and they had told the council, and everybody's like, oh, this is a great deal. And it was going to basically allow the auditor's office to do less work, because all the auditing was going to be done by this AI and this technology. And so it was going to stop the auditor from having to do so much work. Well, they sent out 2 people to investigate how the other counties have operated with this, how there's been several other counties that have operated with this. And I want you guys to listen to this.
Their feedback. I know Kylene sent a summary, and I know that the Highway Department has also received some feedback. If the Highway Department is willing to come up and share some of the feedback that they've had on OpenGov, I'd appreciate it. Make sure that microphone's on, please.
Listen.
Tommy Hummer, Delaware County Highway Department.
Carrie Dye.
So, what day was it, Carrie? Last?
The beginning of last week.
Last week, we sat down with Amanda, our other secretary. It's in our
Thank you, Michael.
It is on.
our payroll. So we sat down and we started going through this list of counties and a town. So we took notes on everything. We asked a lot of questions, how it would help us, what they thought about it and stuff like that. So we'll kind of give you kind of a rundown. I probably won't, I don't know if I want to call the counties out and the names out, or just kind of give you a summary from this county said this and this county said that. How do you guys want that?
I don't believe it's necessary to name other counties.
Okay. Okay.
So the first county we spoke with the highway director, and their purpose of getting OpenGov was primarily in 2020, and they did it for permitting purposes. After 2 years of trying to get all the bugs worked out, they canceled the contract. They never got it up and running. A second county that we talked to, they do not use OpenGov. Their highway department does not use it. Actually, there was 2 of those counties that we spoke with. The highway department does not use OpenGov. The third county or the fourth county that we talked to, they currently use OpenGov. They do not have any issues. They feel that it's very helpful.
So there's one so far
that's talk with
no
a
issue.
Town in Indiana that had them to start with. They had them from 2021 to 2023. They terminated the contract due to things not being worked out. At that time, they stated that it did not meet the Indiana requirements. I did not go into detail with that. They experienced that it was duplicating data entry requirements, causing additional work and potential of human error. The bank reconciliation process, they had to have a separate program for that. That's pretty much it, talking to the 4 counties and the town as well. I will emphasize also.
So, okay, let's run that down. 4 counties and 1 town. That's 5 people they talked to. 5 different government entities that they talked to. And out of those 5 government entities, 1 of them had no problem. They loved it. That was the small town. There's probably not a whole lot of work that they have to do. Okay, so 1, the small town loved it. Of the 4 counties in which they talked to, they either didn't like it, they had canceled their contract with them, or were in the process of canceling their contract. So when you're talking about a situation where we send these people out to interview 5 different people that possibly have this, and you have only one of the 5 say, yeah, it's okay, we love it, and the others are like, no, it's a problem. To me, like, I was watching this and I was commenting live and I was like, oh, nope, it's a no-go then. I mean, this has to be a no-go, right? Like, clearly we're not going to get this now.
At the beginning of this year, commissioners, you signed a contract with Violytics with Dean through the engineering office. That is to take over our phaser program and also implement permitting online. So you already have that in effect. And now we're going to.
So we've already done one contract with a company, and this will be a duplicate service. So are we going to, what? I'll let her say it.
Add something different into that.
Remind everybody what the phaser program is.
That is the road ratings. So we used to have a company that would come in and rate the roads. We are going to be able to do that ourselves now.
Good.
Also, we work with Sam Sarah, who is our GPS program. So we already have that intact. So then you're going to add OpenGov to it. So are we going to pay double for that? Also, our RTA, which is our fleet, our truck fleet and maintenance. So we currently have.
Yes, Sergeant G. Sergeant G, do I know who you are? Do we talk? I don't know if I know. I mean, do we know? You don't got to out yourself, and I would never out you. But do we know each other? Like, I feel like we do, but
have that into effect with OpenGov. That would take over that.
But yes, that's proper. And yes, that's true.
The new website that Kyle Johnson has been working on, he has also put into place where the public can report potholes, any road damage, anything like that. That is at no cost that Kyle was able to do for us.
Good, Jim.
I do have a couple other things to put in here. So when we did talk to the 2 counties that the highway does not use it, we actually talked to some of them about other departments and wasn't positive. It was not a positive experience. So
listen, and it was not positive. It wasn't a positive experience.
Well, have you ever, you go from your bank and your bank's going paperless. Have you ever done a job where they're going paperless? Paperless does not mean paperless. It means twice as much work.
Yeah, it does. That's exactly right.
I've never seen anything that said it was going to be paperless that didn't involve more paperwork.
Yeah.
And doubling up on doing things.
Yeah, right.
So I never understood why they were interested in this, because paperless is bullshit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. Yeah. And to get to your question real quick, concerned citizen Indiana, I don't know. That's a question that I had, because what people may or may not know is John Coutinho is an actual full-time merit officer, I believe, still for the Ball State Hospital Police. Surely the hospital police have shit-canned him. And no, I know that his time at Hazmat is done, because that's based off of the county shit. But no, that's done. As far as his other roles, I would hope to think that they've also shit-canned him, or if they haven't, they're in the process of.
We're overlapping on a lot of stuff that we're under contract with. And I guess one of the biggest questions I would have is, who's going to pay for this? Am I going to pay for this if it goes through? Am I going to pay out of my budget for this?
Listen to this.
We're already paying. Looks like we're double paying, So I just have concerns with that. I was hit pretty hard.
Now listen, yes, so am I. So am I, Kate. And listen to the answer that this guy is given. All right. He stands up and says, who's going to pay for this? Listen to the answer they give him.
Pretty quick too, It's something maybe I missed, but it's right here on us. And I mean, honestly, this is the worst time to be dealing with it right now with us, because of everything we're busy with, I just feel like, from what I heard, there's a reason that there's 4 counties in Indiana, and I would like to see 20 have it and say it's successful before we go to it at the highway department.
So appreciate the feedback. So my understanding on funding is OpenGov's been solely paid for out of American Rescue Plan funds so far, which all have to be spent and expire at the end of this year. So December 31st of 2026, American Rescue Plan funds will no longer be available. And it's my understanding that the auditor's office has this in their budget to pay for the whole thing. So it won't come out of the highway department should it move forward.
Okay.
Okay. I appreciate your feedback.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other departments, heads, or elected office holders that have feedback on OpenGov? I know there were a few other departments asked. Ed, have you received feedback directly from any departments?
No, not from any departments.
Okay. And then, Ed, you and I had a little bit of communication about Zionsville. You said you've done a little research on Zionsville.
Yes.
Is there a legal dispute between OpenGov and Zionsville right now?
No.
Okay.
That case has been dropped. Zionsville dropped the case.
Okay.
To give you some background.
There was a case, but it's not now. So no.
Yeah, it's been dropped. It's all good. Everything's good. Everything's good.
This went back to 2020 when a new property developed. They prematurely launched it. And since then, they've removed everyone related to that department. The developers, marketing, sales, developed a new product, and now they go through a process of having beta tested, alpha tested by customers before they actually launch the product. So the product is out in the marketplace, has been out in the marketplace for about 3 years now. But that's not even the product we're looking at. The product we're looking at has been out in the marketplace for 16 years. So I think it's very mature. And what I understand from talking to customers in the marketplace, it's the most customizable product that's available. So that's some of the main feedback I received. One county was actually using it. The technician or the guys out in the field who actually do the road work, they actually wanted, they won't let management get rid of it because they want to document the case that they're doing the work. So they take pictures and document the inventory so they don't go out and farm out the work to third-party contractors. So they are forcing the management to keep using the product. So
is that called Cartograph?
Who's what guy? The guy talking? Is that who you're talking about, concerned citizen? If the guy on the screen is who you're talking about, if this is who you're asking about, the man right here, that's Ed Carroll, the Delaware County Auditor.
So that's some of the main feedback I received. One county was actually using it. The technician or the guys out in the field who actually do the road work, they actually wanted, they won't let management get rid of it because they want to document the case that they're doing the work. So they take pictures.
So isn't it funny? The man who wants it, everybody he's talked to loves it. They think it's a fantastic job. Everybody wants it. They want it. If they're not getting it, they really want it. But the workers, if they've talked to people, everybody hates it. That's real funny to me.
And document the inventory so they don't go out and farm out the work to third-party contractors. So they are forcing the management to keep using
the guy who
product.
wants it because he desperately thinks that this thing is going to make it so he doesn't have to do his fucking job.
Yeah, it's going to cut down on his workload.
So he can sit at home and draw his paycheck, and the computers will just do it all for him. He says everything's ducky. Really? I wouldn't trust that guy with a 2-cent piece.
No, you're talking about the guy speaking at the podium. The guy at the podium, let's see, 1439. The guy at the podium is the director or the head of the highway department, Delaware County Highway Department. The guy at the podium, this guy is the head of the highway department, Delaware County Highway Department. And the woman next to him is God. The person next to him is Dye's wife. I forget what her job is at Delaware County, but that's who they are.
For potholes, any road damage, anything like that. That is that.
The product. So
Is that called Cartograph? Is that OpenGov's? So the Muncie Sanitary District adopted the Cartograph portion of OpenGov about 3 years ago.
Which is the same product we're talking about now.
Just the Cartograph portion. Because the Sanitary District doesn't have OpenGov implemented wholesale, just the Cartograph portion.
Well, that's a word. So the asset portion of the quote we received is the Cartograph product.
Gotcha.
The permitting is a separate product.
I see.
Well, I appreciate what the highway said.
And we're still waiting on feedback from
Tommy Humbert is the highway
There are a lot
superintendent.
of different applications, that's for sure.
There are, I agree with you, but I'll be honest with you. I'm of the opinion until we get the payroll.
And his bookkeeper is Carrie Dye, and that's the woman that's the woman with him. So the man in the man 1533, the man in the jacket here is Tommy Humbert, the highway superintendent, and the woman is Carrie Dye, the bookkeeper of the highway department. All right, now here we go. Listen to what gets ready to happen right here. Here we're going to get into it bigly. All right, listen.
There are a lot of different applications, that's for sure.
This was the second part of the meeting that I really wanted you guys to focus on. Let's listen.
I agree with you, but I'll be honest with you. I'm of the opinion until we get the payroll system locked down with the 2 signatures required, I'm not going to vote for this, because none of this has anything to do with our problems right now in this county. And it's payroll issue. And I've been talking about it for a long time, since January at least. We had the conversation this morning, and there's still nothing being done. So until our payroll issues get worked out, which they're not, I'm not voting to approve this. I want to make that clear.
I will make an exception, take exception to your statement. There is stuff being done. And we will, effective this payroll, we will turn on the 2-step requirement, and we'll see how much is done. Because we can't force departments to do their jobs in many cases. It's not our responsibility. We don't have the authority to do that. So we can turn it off, and we'll see when people don't get paid the effect of the work we've done on our end. So we've been trying to work with each department to educate them and train them.
We don't have the authority to tell the department how they have to turn in their time cards.
Yeah. What a joke.
Are you freaking, you're the final approving authority via the ordinance. Yes, you have the authority to send it back to them and tell them, this isn't right, redo it.
Yeah. What an absolute joke.
You're the final approving authority. What a dumb fuck.
Yeah, he's so stupid, man. He's so stupid. And Ed has always wanted to be the smartest man in the room. And the thing is, he's in a room with a bunch of other idiots, but he's never been the smartest idiot in the room, which is bad. And I feel sorry for him, I guess, because that's something that's been important to him, but he's always been around a bunch of jackasses. Now, Shannon coming in here and speaking up, like, yeah, I'm happy that Shannon spoke up. It's funny, Shannon's like, I've been talking about this a long time. Well, no, he hasn't. He's only been speaking up about this really since Brand started beating his chest, and Brand's only been there since January of last year. So Shannon didn't have a problem with all of this until Brand started speaking up, and he didn't even have a problem when Brand first started speaking up. Shannon only started this year. Brand was doing it all last year. My question is, why has Shannon not been saying anything about this for years? Keep in mind, it was Shannon who allowed and told Megan Coutinho other ways to continue ripping the county off. What about the credit cards? And Shannon only brought it up after his buddy got nailed for cheating in the system. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Wild. Yep. Commissioners. Now, now that was Carol that said that. The commissioners definitely do. And I think Carol has more ability than what he's saying. This just comes back to saying, well, we don't, we can't do that. What a loser.
So to say nothing's been done, I will take exception to that.
Okay. Nothing's being implemented yet, right?
That's the point.
Things are implemented. That's the point I'm trying to make. IT made the comment last in our employee meeting, I believe, that they would like to turn a few of these on at a time and try to get the bugs worked out of the system and then turn a few more on. Is anything being done between your office and IT with that to make things easier?
There's really nothing IT needs to do.
Okay.
It's a matter of just changing the security rights.
You're right.
The issue of
it's hard for me to understand that too.
Okay.
I'm certainly looking forward to the dual sign-offs, the separation of duties, and the checks and balances. So you say the next pay cycle, that's going to be turned on?
Yes.
We should have the HR send out notice?
I don't agree with that. This is, HR doesn't handle payroll. In county government's different than any business I've ever been involved with. Typically HR owns payroll, but the auditor's office owns payroll, and they should send out the notices, in my opinion.
Someone needs to get the word out. Thank you. So what's your pleasure?
Motion to table.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes, thank you. Approval of the commissioners meeting June
Now-
1st.
I sent some minor corrections. I believe those have been incorporated. I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Now, what's interesting to me about this is that's it. They didn't talk about the credit card issue after this. That was that. So there was nothing turned off. They didn't talk about turning anything off, but they also they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything else there. So I'm going to have to reach out to them and find out why there was nothing else, because they gave January 15th as the deadline. The deadline was January 15th, and that was basically that. Sorry, yeah, June 15th, Monday, June 15th. I keep saying January. I apologize. June 15th, and they, I'm going to have to ask them why they did not address that, because back 2 meetings ago, they said June 15th would be the deadline point, and they didn't bring it up. So now I think there was some anger in that fight about what was going on there. I think it was a little bit, but in my opinion, they should have addressed that in a more clear way, because they basically said, if this is not resolved on June 15th, we're cutting the credit cards off. So my question is, did they cut the credit cards off? Are they not cutting the credit cards off? Does that mean it's been fixed? If it's not been fixed, why didn't they cut the credit cards off? And what's going to be done about getting that fixed? So I watched this earlier. I think it's because the auditor did not separate who follows policy versus who doesn't. Probably so, but they should have at least brought that up. They should have brought that up. The fact that they didn't bring that up and say, hey, what's happening here? I think that's bad on the commissioners. Because remember, at the end of the day, this is not the auditor's meeting. This is the commissioners' meeting. They're the ones that set the agenda. They're the ones that rule the roost as far as what's going on. Why on versus off? Well, the reason they were going to turn it off was to punish the people who weren't following the policy, the county policy that they had set in place. And they were going to punish them until they figured out a way to make them. That's what they were going to do. Oh, that's cool, Alva. That's awesome. I appreciate that. What does the nomination eventual role as? What does the nomination eventual roles? Well, the nomination to run does not pay anything. Auditor for Delaware County is probably, Kate's looking that up. She's going to look that up and let us know. Yeah, that's very cool, Ella. Kate's going to look that up. Okay, while Kate looks that up, we are going to get ready to, now, this was a 3-hour-long meeting, basically, and I would highly recommend anybody who did not watch it to go through and watch other parts, because there are other important parts. But if there's anything people specifically want to know about, you can message me and we can talk about that, or I could cover it later. But we are going to get ready to move on to the next portion of our local government talk, which is the Muncie Parks Board meeting. And it's just a quick little chat about this. So we're going to get ready to do that now. We'll wait and see if Kate's got something here. And I hear it. Oh, we'll do a quick weather check, because I hear it thundering out there. Okay, the auditor salary is currently based off of last year. I would assume that's based off last year. $65,999.61. So you're talking about $66,000 a year for auditor. That's the reason that we have a lot of people not wanting to do this, because people are not looking at this as saying, I'm going to go do a 4-year or an 8-year. I'm not going to go do a 4-year or 8-year civic duty. They basically say, you know, I want a lifetime of job. I want a job that's going to, you know, pay me what someplace else will. And Chris Bunner just brought up here, in fact, before we switch, she just brought up that they did not pay the claims. So I am going to, I will jump forward here to the claims. We will jump forward and just listen if they have any discussion there. Give me 1 second here and we'll try to zoom this along here. Okay, we'll get back from there. All right, we are now to Nate Howard. Okay, Nate Howard. Okay, so that's where we are now.
The Jeff Howe's a separate situation with Center Township. I'll talk about
Brooke
that.
and Struble.
Roll call, please.
Okay.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Brand?
Yes.
Commissioner Riggett?
Yeah.
Friday, my staff and I went out and conducted damage assessment through the city of Muncie. I've sent you all the incident report on that with details on that. Findings of our damage assessment, we've surveyed 1 destroyed, 11 major, 21 minor, 8 affected with a total of 41.
19 calls to the 911 lines and 116 calls.
Oh, I want you guys to listen about this.
But I worry about that.
Yep.
With that,
We had a bunch of people talking about the storm last. This is good too.
Our tornado outdoor warning system is activated by Delaware County Emergency Communications, which is 911, and it's activated when a tornado warning is issued. For this event, there was no tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service. Since then, we are revising some plans to this year. The National Weather Service has included what's called a destructive thunderstorm tag that they issue during storms, which sets off additional alerts on your cell phones and the NOAA radios. So we are revising some plans due to some feedback that we've received from the general public to update and possibly start setting off our tornado sirens for thunderstorms that produce a destructive tag. That's all I have. If anybody has any questions.
With that being said, I'll be clear on something. There was no tornado warning issued the other night. What worries me about this destructive thunderstorm warning, I'm guessing, is what it'll be, is if somebody misses that, then the sirens still don't go off.
Correct.
It's whether it's a 110 mile an hour downdraft, straight line wind, or EF1 tornado, it doesn't matter. People were mad because it wasn't called a tornado.
I agree with Shannon Henry here, and that's hard for me to say because I don't agree with him a lot. But I do agree with what he's saying. It doesn't matter what the name is. It doesn't matter if it's straight line winds or if it's a tornado or if it's derecho or Horatio or if you've been ratioed. It don't matter what the name is. If you're blind, deaf, and you can't speak and you can't hear and you can't feel, tornado, wind, and all, it's doing the same damage. I don't know what we had out here. It ripped out a bunch of trees. I don't think the house didn't blow over. And I didn't get blown to Oz. I don't think it was a tornado. We still had a bunch of damage out here. I didn't hear any tornado sirens. And that's the thing, man. This is the part of what we talk about here on this channel, politics and safety and why all the guns. Let me be real clear. No one is coming to save you, okay? No, I'm not speaking religiously. I'm just talking about here on earth, talking about these people. Nobody's coming to save you. So you need to do your own work. And, you know, I lived in the city of Muncie for a long time. I've never heard a tornado warning. The very first time I ever heard a tornado siren was the night of the tornado in March of 2023 when I was leaving the nursing home where my grandmother was in the rehabilitation facility of the nursing home after her surgery. And I was driving home to do the show and about pissed myself because I'm driving down Walnut and I hear the tornado siren and the car's like lifting off the ground. I got home, turned it on, and a tornado had just like went right over me and hit Selma and all that other shit. Went through Winchester. It was insane. That's the only time in my entire life that I've ever heard like a tornado siren. People can miss them all the time and they can't get mad because they're like, well, I didn't hear it or whatever. I don't blame that on them. Now, there was a lot of questions like, did they miss them because people were suspended or whatnot? Now, this guy just answered no. The dispatchers are in charge of that. They do it. And the reason that there were no sirens is because a tornado warning was never issued. So that comes from the national weather. And it's like they can't just go out of pocket and say, well, it's getting really bad, we're going to hit the buzzer. It don't work that way. There is protocol. And so I agree with Shannon Henry there.
And I don't understand that, because to us, it tears up everything, regardless of what it is. It tears everything up, and we react the same. It doesn't matter. So I'm not sure why the community was so upset.
You're exactly
about
right,
it not being considered a tornado. I can't. Again, to me, it doesn't matter. It was destructive winds by a thunderstorm, regardless of what it was, and it still tore everything up, which we hate. So, but I work.
All right, we're going forward now.
County works on an ordinance and for technology to catch up with the demand for these structures. I request that Delaware County Commissioners approve a moratorium on a data center permitting construction and development. We really need an ordinance first. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Mr. Andrew Irving.
Okay, we went too far. This is public comment.
Good morning.
And really quickly, I want to show you guys this. Hold on, we're going to listen to what this guy's got to say.
Also Eaton, Indiana. Kind of in addition to the environmental impact, which is concerning, there are also local economic impacts that need to be considered. It's no secret that Delaware County's population has been shrinking. According to census numbers, the county has lost 5% of its population over the last 20 years, and when the rest of central Indiana has experienced roughly 25% population gain. We also know that Delaware County and the greater Muncie area has struggled to combat the post-graduation flight. Young, upwardly mobile families want to live where there is growth opportunity and a high quality of life. When considering if Delaware County is open to housing and data center, these factors need to be considered. If we want a shot at reversing this trend, when we can't allow massive data centers, that will negatively impact local residents' quality of life.
Okay, data centers. I want to introduce us really quickly to the new and improved Rick Yenser.
$69,830.16.
Motion to approve. Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand?
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan?
Yes.
We're going to come back to this, but I want you guys to listen to this.
So now, time for the public to speak, ask questions. You have 3 minutes. State your name and address.
Mr. Rick Yenser, ladies and gentlemen.
Rick Yenser, newsman, author.
What the hell?
What I've heard today, I'll put it in some context in any given way. I survived
Oh boy, got a haircut and found a little bit of shoe polish, and he's rocking it. I'm telling you, I like it. I like it, Rick. I can dig it, bro. You're looking like he's looking like the Rick Yenser of old. You know what I mean? Like the old Rick Yenser from 1998 Rick Yenser. I really like what he's done here. Jackie Fisher. I actually saw this at the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission meeting, and they actually brought it up, and he got mad. He got mad. Brand was like, whoa, I about didn't recognize you. And he's like, all right, you don't got to say anything about it, which I thought was funny. Now, here's the Rick Yenser I'm familiar with. This is old school Rick Yenser. When he was dropping stats like that, like that, and like that, that's my favorite Rick Yenser. But look, I can tell you, I like it. It's all his real hair. It's not people talking about wig. He's just, he's kind of got the Phil Spector kind of this big thing, and he kind of like teases it up. I love it. I'm not giving him a hard time. Rick Yenser, I know a lot of people say a lot of things about him. I like Rick. He's a good dude. I like when he gets up. I think he drops the outlaw now, but he used to get up and say, Rick Yenser, newsman and author. I like when he used to say Rick Yenser, outlaw newsman and author. That was my favorite part, but I think he's dropped the outlaw part. So he's looking respectable, and I can dig it. I like what he's got going on here. So congratulations. He looks like an author and a newsman again. That's the thing. He's dropped the outlaw part. All right. Before we move on, I want to get in here and listen to what they say about these claims.
Our claims to be separated, and I asked the credit card for work during the storms too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know it gets chaotic, but thank you.
It does, especially if you're minimum staff and you're calling people in. So.
Yep. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Fred and Chris run a very nice 911 center. A payment of claims of $4,614,638.41. What's your wish?
I'm not going to make a motion to pay the claims because I've asked for the credit card claims to be separated, and I asked the credit card claims that were that followed the procedure to be separated out from the ones that didn't. I'm not going to make a motion, and I'm going to vote no if the motion is made. I think everybody knows how I'm going to vote, right? I mean, we had $29,080.41 in credit card claims, and I saw very little justification. In fact, we're going the wrong way.
We're going the wrong way.
And this has, there's some important things in here. Lit certified shares, public safety shares, edit shares for the city and the county, state board of accounts, tax sale redemption, surplus and refund, primary election workers. We're going to get paid out of this. That's $29,829.78. So we're probably going to have a special meeting to get the detail that Commissioner Henry asked for.
Well, when would you like to meet? And of course, our auditor's not here. Bring up, well, he might be, oh, I didn't see you
I
down
popped
there.
up here.
How did you sneak in?
And I'm going to personally apologize because Shannon, I really feel like that's my fault that those were not separated. I feel like I did bring it up, but I didn't put it into full motion. And it was right after the meeting that I said that that's something we were going to do. And that's totally my fault because I don't think I followed through with getting that put into motion. And then our head bookkeeper had 3 days scheduled off and we've got our backup doing it. And so, and she just now started doing the emails for such things. So I think I'll take the blame on that. I apologize.
When do you think they would be prepared that we could have a special meeting?
You're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking. Yeah, because would be.
As far as just separating out numbers.
Wait. First and foremost, Ed's fat ass was just sitting in that chair not too long ago. And you notice it says John Brook and he's not there. Danielle Struble and she is there. Now earlier in the meeting, now what is this? This is 2/14/40. I didn't think I was going to spend this much time on this, but this is important. So earlier you asked the question about let's find out when Ed is sitting there. When we were talking about Ed, I'm going along here. We're going to find out when is Ed talking? Okay, right here it's at the beginning. Okay, right here. Look, Ed Carroll's name tag is spun around where we can see his name. Okay, we see
the snit after they tabled the Open Gov stuff.
I think probably, well, that or maybe during the break. I don't know when he left because it doesn't ever go back to her. Well, maybe it might. I'll have to go back and watch that. I'm not going to watch it all now, but because we have other things we got to move on to. But it's just interesting to me that he then decides to let's see, 213. All right.
Well,
it's interesting to me that now we see over here, and he's left.
And I'm going to personally.
No. This wasn't a potty break. He turned his name tag around because he wasn't going to be there again. So he turned his name tag around and he left because he knew the claims were coming. And she's sitting there. And look, I can appreciate her falling on her sword here. And it's probably her fault. And she's just as worthless as Ed is. You know, she needs to go too. But I don't care. This is Ed's fault. Ed knew this was coming. And the fact, I don't care who was on vacation. I don't care who had days off. They had 2 weeks to write this. And the fact that they didn't means they didn't on purpose. And I don't care about this bullshit excuses. This is gross. And
because Shannon, I really feel like that's my fault that those were not separated. I feel like I did bring
You mean Commissioner Henry? Is that what you mean? Don't make me defend these people.
Up, but I didn't put it into full motion. And it was right after the meeting that I said that that's something we were going to do. And that's totally my fault because I don't think I followed through with getting that put into motion. And then our head bookkeeper had 3 days scheduled off and we've got her back up doing it. And so, and she just now started doing the emails for such things. So I think I'll take the blame on
She
that.
doesn't think she followed through.
When
Well, you obviously didn't follow through because it's not done.
Yeah, you clearly didn't follow through. Then listen to this. Listen to what he says here.
when do you think they would be prepared that we could have a special meeting?
Yes. Me.
Yeah, I'm asking.
She says, "Are you asking me?" No, I'm asking a person out in the audience. Weren't you the one just talking and giving the excuse for why these weren't done? I'm now asking you when this will be done.
Would be.
Are you asking
As
me?
far as just separating out numbers, that's not going to be real.
Well,
that's not gonna
how many
take long to
hours
do.
it take to advertise for us?
48.
2 days.
48 hours.
Yeah, the soonest we could have it would be at 11:10 a.m. 2 days from now. That'd be the soonest we can have it. That's if we posted it right now, but it's not going to be posted
right now, obviously.
I'd also like to make a comment that Auditor Carroll certified all of these again after saying,
Now that I did cover, so.
okay, they're certified.
Okay.
So would Thursday, the 18th, Danielle, does that sound like that'd be enough time for you?
It is enough time for us to post it.
Okay.
What was the proposed?
Thursday, the 18th.
At what time?
I don't have my calendar with me, so Thursday.
All right, we'll have to
afternoon.
coordinate it after this meeting if you don't have your
Okay.
calendar.
Look for a meeting then. Thank you. So it goes with the payroll of $1,069,830.16.
Motion to approve. Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand.
Yes.
Now the payroll's getting paid. Yeah, that's nice. They're paying the payroll. What I think we ought to do is hold off on paying anything till the shit's right. We'll see how quick they get it fixed. That's not right because there are a lot of people that are doing the right thing. I have a major problem with this.
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right, Stumblefoot. Right, Stumblefoot.
Now, time for the public to speak. Ask the
All right,
question.
that's it. So this is crazy. I'm glad we did watch this. I'm glad we watched this, and I'm glad they did this. I'm glad they said this, and I am now satisfied with where we were. Now I don't have to get so crazy. There's some emails I'm going to send, but I'm glad that they threw a fit about this, and I will follow up with when the special meeting is. And I will say this is a problem. This is a problem. Ryan Webb won't run for it because he makes too much money. That's the problem. That he can't make as much money doing the auditor. He can't do something at he can't lose his full-time gig. That's the problem with a lot of people. He's not in a position because he has a family and such, you know what I mean? So I got a problem. I got a problem with this, and I'm mad at how that happened, but I'm glad that they spoke up. So that's that. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick break real quick. When we come back, we're going to get into the city of Muncie stuff. You guys sit tight. We will be right back, and we'll make it quick. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we are going to get in to the city of Muncie park board meeting. And the big thing here, the main issue here is I was watching for one thing and one thing only. And that was, I was looking for Jeff Howe to get up and address the park board because his third contract that he just signed into with the city of Muncie, and he signed into the city of Muncie with this contract just on the 21st of May, specifically outlines his role in the new position that he signed into, which was the position of the Redevelopment Commission Director, okay? it specifically said that he was going to be doing a couple of new things. Specifically speaking, it said that the professional shall provide general oversight, strategic guidance, and ongoing monitoring for the period from May 1st through September 30th, 2021. Now, what's really strange with this is he entered into this, and I can't believe I didn't talk about this earlier. He entered into the agreement on the 21st day of May. So did that mean that he was engaging in strategic general oversight and guidance before he signed into this? Because that's weird. Because it says, like, he better not get paid before May 21st. He better not get paid before May 21st because you can't backdate that shit. All right. Going on, it says professionals shall provide regular summary progress reports to the mayor, city of Muncie, or the mayor's designee on a weekly basis. So he has to talk to himself in the mirror for a period of time, weekly. I'm going to ask who he's giving that to when I send my email to him here in a little bit after the show. Moving on, it says professionals shall provide monthly status advisory regarding Tuhey Pool's operation to the City of Muncie's Parks and Recreation Board during the months of June, July, August, and September. So my question is, was he going to be attending this Parks Board meeting? And then lastly, professional is expected to devote a minimum of 10 hours per month, each month from May through September 2026, in the performance of duties related to Tuhey Pool. So I watched this meeting in hopes. I was not able to attend it. I will attend next month's, but I will email these people and find out why these things didn't happen. Okay, the meeting was an hour long.
Here. Brad Marshall, here.
Got off to a good start as well. We had several.
Carl's back, and he announced that he's only been back for 2 weeks. Again, I'm not a fan of Carl. I did find out that he also has some kind of cancer situation he's dealing with. He's been off for about a month or two because of that, and my thoughts and my prayers are with him. I hope they deal with that, and I hope that's taken care of. Don't like the man, but I don't want him to be sick or ill. Glad he's back, and I want him to get to work.
Meetings with the parents prior to the kickoff.
And he basically outlines what he does. We're going to speed through this. And I would highly recommend going back and watching this hour-long meeting. I watched the entire thing.
On the splash pad. That's the main purpose of having the splash pad and having the restrooms available.
Okay.
To drain and clean that splash pad.
Yeah, we've been over there.
So they're talking about splash pad.
And he had the basketball for the parks program moved inside.
Okay, talking about basketball.
Anticipated amount of people, and just saying that they'll have security is vague.
And we're already talking about, yeah, right, Jackie? You would think you would. It's time for her to go. They're talking about I can't believe it's time for this already. Remember the event in which there was a massive mass shooting where there was a gentleman and they were just shooting everybody and lots of people were like running over each other. It was crazy back a couple years ago. Well, every 4 years they hold that event back to Muncie, and it's time to have that again. I cannot even believe it. It won't be this year. It'll be a year from this year. So they're talking about this already, getting this in place. And so this will be the back to Muncie, will be July of 2027. And so that's what they're talking about. Okay.
How many security? So,
yeah, right.
The thing to do here.
Because he's just saying from 50 to 200 people. So is that 50? Is that on the other end of 200? Don't know. Just said 50 to 2. So.
I did have quick.
Everybody, all the dots crossed and covered and whatnot. So.
How large are we anticipating it?
Pretty large.
Yeah, it is
pretty large.
I will say, even when I worked at the hotel, our hotel was pretty.
There's going to be a lot of people. It's going to be a large event.
Pretty large. I would hate to say a number, but it's probably one of the bigger events that you'll see at a park.
So are they asking? looking for these amenities in.
Yeah, they're talking about back home.
Cambridge field, along with some clinics and stuff like that for elementary kids, and then.
Okay, then Julius Anderson
First
gets
prints
up
that
and
went
talks.
around, and that came out and old stuff there. And what they did, they showed us some new models and stuff, not only for our park but also for McCullough Park, and that really helped out a lot. So, and
formally approved for the event as well.
The program
Good evening,
guy
Lord.
gets up and talks.
This
Landscaping to make sure the park looks good. For
The guy
celebration.
from
And the other half of the
Prairie
team is working on dock
Prairie
repairs
Creek
and work
gets up and
orders,
talks.
which can be made at the main office or the boat launch, should there be any issues in the park or with the dock. Category. So
Mm-hmm.
that'll be why it's brought for the board here. Any questions regarding that? If not, entertain a motion to approve. September 12th, you said? Yes.
Prairie Creek's still up.
Flatland update on some of their projects. David had intended to be here tonight, but had another commitment that came up.
Flatland.
He did send me that. And they plan to be here in the July meeting for a full update from Flatland.
Flatland update.
New business. We already discussed the teen internship. Any additional questions or discussions there? Another new business item. We have Second Harvest mini food market.
Internship, Second
You
Harvest.
get the most information on that.
Connect with our most vulnerable residents.
So they just need marketing by
whole community.
For a lot of people, it's they're.
And they talk about Gus Macker.
They didn't make it, I guess. But you all know about Gus Macker and that it has changed locations. And since you guys were.
Mark did discuss change of locations for Macker.
Yep.
They talk about Gus Macker.
Yep. That's why we brought it before. That's excellent. Yep. Any other action items?
No other action items.
Any board comments or general discussion from the board?
No board comments.
Any public input?
No public input.
Wow.
Where the hell's Jeff Howe? So I'm going to email him tomorrow. The park board did not discuss Tuhey Pool. There's a big issue with Tuhey Pool. It's only open right now Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There are 3 other big days of the week it's not open. Why? What's going on? What are we doing with this? Why was Jeff Howe not here? Now, he should not get paid a percentage of his money because he didn't do what the contract specified. Will he be here in July? Will he be there in August? Will he be there in September? Don't know what's going on here, but I got a problem with this, and we're going to look into it, and I will keep you guys up to date with what is happening with the Muncie Parks Board situation and Tuhey Pool and the current acting mayor. Okay. Now, moving on to other Muncie business besides the park situation, I was also concerned about a couple of things. I have reached out to the city of Muncie specifically. Again, I have reached out to the president and the vice president of the Muncie City Council, being Jeff Green and Dale Basham, specifically to ask them about the committee. Of course, it's just another day, and we haven't heard when the Public Service Committee will be meeting. I have sent them the 5th email that says just following up, and did not receive anything. I sent that on Sunday the 14th. It's been 2 days, so I decided that I should probably send them another follow-up, and I followed up to Jeff Green and Dale Basham, and I sent them the same thing, just following up, email number 6, and I'm sending that right now. I just sent it as I was sitting here speaking to you. We'll see if they respond. We'll see if they don't respond. I don't really know if they will or not, but it'll be what it'll be. I then also Also, I sent an email to Nora Powell, who is District 2 counselor, and I sent the following email. And this is reference resolution 8-26 about the controller's office and the investigation that the council's doing per ordinance 32.08. This is resolution 8-26. I said, follow up. Counselor Powell, I have a few quick questions about resolution 8-26 and the timeline it set forth. Resolution 826 says, and I'm paraphrasing here, but no later than 14 days after the vote of the controller's office is to have various documents to the controllers. Then, no later than 14 days from when the docs are turned over to the council, the council is to have any and all questions turned back over to the controller's office. Then, no later than 14 days from when the council has sent the questions to the controller's office is to have answers sent back to the council. And lastly, no later than 14 days from when the answers have been turned over to the council should call a public hearing. Firstly, are those 14-day windows calendar or business days? And then, depending on your answer, has the first action been met? Because by my calculations, 14 days for all of these would be one or the other. Calendar days, the deadlines would be Monday, June 15th, Monday, June 29th, Monday, June 13th, July 13th, Monday, July 27th. Business days, Friday, June 19th, Friday, July 3rd, Friday, July 17th, and Friday, July 31st. So depending on what 14 days means, I'm just wondering if the controller's office has complied yet. Thank you in advance for your time and response. Now, she has not responded yet. Nora generally will respond in the late evening, early morning hours. And even if she doesn't respond today or first thing tomorrow, she will respond. I fully believe that she will respond. So far, I have not had an issue with her. I am looking forward to getting this answer because obviously this is a time-sensitive issue. And if the controller's office doesn't meet the timeline on the very first aspect of this, I'm willing to believe that we will struggle with this all along. And then it'll get interesting. And I'll be honest, with the mayor being gone, I fully believe the controller's office will drag their feet on this and fight this all along. And if that happens, the council will have no other option other than to subpoena this. And my fear is that they're thinking that it will take other further council action and that they will get pushback from the Republicans. But this could turn into a very interesting next meeting of the Muncie City Council, depending on what happens here in just the next couple of days. So we'll have to wait and see, and I will let you guys know as soon as possible. We'll keep you guys posted. So that's the other Muncie City business, and that's where we are. We are now going to leave local, and we're going to move into state business. And talking about state business, specifically, we're going to be talking about one of our favorite individuals here, and this is State Representative J.D. Prescott. Okay. J.D. has now for the last little bit been on some kind of a bizarro statewide tour, we'll say. Okay. We talked about this a little bit the other night, and I'm going to put this up here on the screen. The next council meeting is July 6th, Alva. Next council meeting is July 6th. So that's, it'll be falling right in the middle of when these things should be happening. So depending on when those things happen, a couple of them should have happened by that next meeting. So that's that. Okay, so this situation with JD Prescott is really interesting to me. So Kate actually is the one that brought this to my attention back a couple of weeks ago. JD had this event over in Cicero. I think it was in Cicero or somewhere like that, somewhere around there. And it was really strange because it's just JD Prescott. And he's posting this on his Reelect JD Prescott for State Representative page, where he's got me and all of our team blocked. And so Brandon's blocked. I'm blocked. Brandon actually had a lawsuit with him. And he, you know, it's just very strange what JD's doing. But JD is posting these little blurbs like this. And so what this says is, Reelect JD Prescott for State Representative, property tax repeal and replacement tour, new stop added. I'm heading to Indianapolis for another listening session on my plan to fully repeal Indiana's property tax system and replace it with a fairer system. Tuesday, June 23rd, 5:30 p.m., Indianapolis Public Library, Glendale Branch. And he gives the address. I'll explain how the current property tax system is broken. I'll detail my proposal, House Bill 1288, to eliminate the annual property tax bill and for all property taxpayers while protecting funding for schools, roads, and local services. There will be plenty of time for your questions and feedback. Whether you're a homeowner, business owner, or just concerned about taxes, all are welcome. Come learn how we can give Hoosiers real property ownership and more predictable taxes. Bring your neighbors and friends. Okay? Now, that's really cool. Sounds really cool, right? We are going to fight property taxes once and for all, and it's going to be fantastic. There won't be any issues here. This is going to be amazing. We love it. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be wonderful. Right? Right? Well, here's the problem, okay? There's another one of these. Here's this one, Property Tax and Real Replacement Tour. Thank you to everyone who joined us last night in Seymour for a great discussion on repealing Indiana's property tax and replacing it with a fair tax system. A big thank you to Representative Jim Lucas for hosting and helping facilitate the event. And to the Jackson County Chamber of Commerce, I appreciated the thoughtful questions and honest feedback from local homeowners, business owners, and concerned citizens. Events like this are exactly why I'm taking this tour across the state. Next stop on the tour, Muncie, Indiana, 6:30 p.m., Elks Golf Course, hosted by the local Friends of America group at their monthly meeting. I'll be presenting the full details of the plan, explaining how the current system is broken, and answering your questions. If you're tired of unpredictable property taxes and want real ownership of your home, come join us. Bring your neighbors and friends. More stops are being added. Okay, then he's got another one here. This was May 21st. This was in Frankfurt. That's what happened. That's what happened back the first one. Okay. And then he's just got a bunch of crap up there. Okay. Here's the issue. Here's the problem. Okay. The problem with this is, number one, yeah, right. Step right up this way to the Magical Mystery Tour. You know what I mean? It's absolutely amazing. Roll up. So here's the problem. You could look at this and say, JD Prescott's really doing the right thing as an elected official. He is going to the public. He's willing to talk to you. He's willing to answer questions. He's going to listen to what you have to say. Well, first and foremost, none of that matters unless it's happening in District 33. What's District 33, you might ask? Ladies and gentlemen, it's this right here. Okay, here is District 33. It's all of Randolph County. It's the bottom 2/3 of Jay County. It's all of Blackford County. It's one little township of Henry County, and it's the easternmost part of Delaware and the southernmost township of Delaware County. So unless he's doing this bullshit in this little area, basically what he's doing doesn't amount to shit. Okay? Does not matter. Simply just does not matter. It's great as a state representative that he's going and talking to people in Indianapolis and Seymour and Cicero, and he's going to the Region or he's going to Evansville. But he don't answer the questions of the citizens in District 33. He doesn't talk to us. He doesn't want to stick around and answer questions. Now, listen, and some of you are saying, wait a minute, he's going to be in Muncie. Well. First and foremost, he's not actually going to be in District 33. See, there's portions of Muncie in Delaware County that's in District 33, and then there's portions of Muncie that's not. Now, listen, that's stupid, because the people who live in the District 33 portions, they can clearly get to the Elks Country Club if they want. But here's what he's doing. He's going and he's talking to extremely friendly people to his cause or to him. And who doesn't want to repeal property taxes? Everybody. Here is where you have to understand it is important to be educated about what's happening. It's important to listen to the full sales pitch, and it's important to research what's being said. He is wanting to repeal property tax, and he's going to put a tax on services. So if I cut your hair, if I cut hair for a living, and you come to me, he's going to tax that. If I am the mechanic down the block and I do work on people's cars in the neighborhood and change oil, put on your window wipers and put your air filter in and fix your flat tire and all that, he's gonna tax that. Okay? He's going to tax services. And first and foremost, what the big fear here is that they're going to put that tax in place. And they're going to say, well, wait a minute. We can't do this just boom, bang, pow all at once. We've got to ease into this. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this tax in place on services. And then in a year or two, we'll repeal the property tax. Then when they realize that the money they're bringing in on this bullshit doesn't come close to the property taxes, then we're just going to be stuck with this other bullshit tax. They won't repeal the property tax, and then we're just screwed, first and foremost there. They're also not thinking about the ways that people will get over on this, okay? Who is Prescott's campaign manager? I don't know. I think it's himself, maybe his wife. Maybe Jim Banks helps him out a little bit. He's definitely on the move. He's looking for something. And you know what? I was talking to Brandon earlier, and Brandon's like, you know, if JD was this willing to be out there, maybe we wouldn't have taken as hard a look at him. The problem, though, is he's not willing. And that's what I told Brandon. I said, the problem is it's disingenuous because he doesn't care what you have to say if you are a citizen from District 33. All or asking any other question. Okay. He is trying to sell this and trying to be the big hero here of some cluster. Like Kate just said, what about senior citizens who cannot do many things themselves and have to pay for services? That's going to really hurt them. Okay. He's not understanding how this is going to hurt the economy of Indiana, because it's going to really crush the local service providers. Okay. Those local beauticians, local barbers, local mom and pop mechanics, and tattoo parlors and massage parlors, and just anything that is a service locally is going to go crashing right out of business. Then the housing market here is going to, this is something Brandon's been talking about for a long time. If they go into this situation, and what's going to happen is it's going to kill the first-time buyers, because people from outside of the state of Indiana are going to start buying up our property more so than they currently already are. And it's going to be an absolute disaster. This is not a very well thought out plan of J.D. Prescott's. And more importantly, we need to ask, what is he doing? What is going on? What is his big move? Because he hates talking to people. He hates being out in the middle and asking questions and having people out there. So he's only being told to do this because he is on the move for some reason.
Well, and the other problem with this is that sales tax goes to the state.
Sure.
Okay. Property tax stays in the county.
Yep.
Under this system, the service tax goes to the state, and then the state does the distribution. So we're adding another layer of government to handle collecting service taxes, figuring out how to distribute it. And from what I read in this, it goes by your county's population and how many miles of road you have for the distribution. So what counties are going to get the lion's share of this? The donuts.
Absolutely. The
and
donut
the rural
counties
are going to be screwed.
Like always on everything else.
Yeah, there are a lot of problems. I don't know if this one still has the service to service.
Yeah, explain that.
So if I own a business and I go, I do auto repair, but I pay a guy to mow the lawn at my auto shop. Because it's service to service, I don't pay that service tax. So if a business that provides a service gets a service from another business, you don't pay the tax.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of problems with this. And it's not going to fix the problem. I still say they need to take everything back to 2020 property assessment levels and put a cap on how much they can go up. I don't have a problem paying taxes on my property because I know where the money's going. It's going to my local school. It's going to my local police department.
I would rather not.
I would rather not, but at least I know where that money's going. And I want the services that they provide with it. So I don't like it, but I'll do it. This service tax, sending it to the state for the state to decide how much my county can have, screw you.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. Well, and like Brandon was saying, Brandon and I were talking about, he's very mad about this. And Brandon and I were talking earlier, and Brandon says, like a lot of people knows, the reason people are pissed off about these property taxes is because a couple times a year, you got to sit down and write a big fat check out, and people are pissed off about doing it. The reason people don't bitch about the income tax stuff is because they figured out a way to not make you feel like it's hurting you so much, because they take it out of your check. You know about it, but you don't really know about it, and you eventually just forget about it and you move on.
Yeah, because the money never goes into your account.
Absolutely. What's going to happen is what about the thought that they're going to, then because they don't ever just do anything. Boom, bang, pow, we fixed it, because they just can't ever like that. What do you think about putting this tax in, and then we will phase the property taxes out?
Well, and we've already got it lined up to start phasing them down to 66% or 67% off or whatever it is. Right now, homeowners are not taking the brunt of this.
Yeah.
Property taxes, it's the landlords, it's the business owners. They're the ones that pay a lion's share of property tax revenue because they're at 2 and 3% cap.
Yeah.
Homeowners are only 1%. So the ones who are going to be making out of this are the ones who are land owners, property owners, and businesses. They're going to save a shit ton of money. But over the course of the year, I pay somebody to come mow my lawn. I pay to have a tree trimmed. I pay to get my car worked on. I have at least, 2, 3, 4 oil changes a year. We have 2 vehicles. So that's 8 oil changes a year. You get new tires put on. Oh, I got to get the brakes repaired. Get my hair cut.
Yeah.
Which I never get done anyway.
Right.
But I have 3 boys that get haircuts.
Yeah.
My husband just does his own. I do the boys too, but
Right. Sure.
Going through everything that I spend money on over the course of the year that I pay other people to do for me.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to come out ahead?
Well,
I'm probably going to be spending pretty close to the same amount of money. It's just spread out.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need to cap the assessments.
That's a lot of hair.
It is a lot of hair. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm too chicken to cut it is what it is. I can sit on it though, which is kind of cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. The way he puts it forward though is repeal property taxes.
Yeah.
And replace. People quit listening after repeal property taxes.
Yeah.
They just hear that's going away, and then they don't listen further. They don't look into it. They don't read the bill, and the bill is like 120 pages.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And a lot of it is the admin.
Well, and it's already got a it already has a number.
Yeah, it's got a number already.
So they're cooking this, and my big thing is Brandon and I were talking about, like, JD's on a move for something big, because do you notice that's the other thing that Brandon and I were battling today. People are like, "Where's Brandon? Where's Brandon?" Brandon is not here on camera a lot anymore, but he's still very active and very much a part of the show behind the scenes. He does a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. They're doing their thing. But Brandon and I were battling the Indiana House Republicans today. And look at this nonsense. The Indiana House Republicans make this post. And I know if you guys can't see this, go on social media to Indiana House Republicans. It was posted yesterday at 2:00. It says, recently, Governor Mike Braun ceremonially signed Senate Enrolled Act 76, authored by State Representative J.D. Prescott, aimed at strengthening immigration enforcement, improving cooperation among federal, state, and local officials, and promoting public safety across the state. Now, I read that myself before reading or seeing anything else. I did not read anything. I did not know anything. And I read this and I'm like, wait a minute. What the hell are you talking about? How is J.D. Prescott, a state representative, the author of a Senate Enrolled Act? There's a House Enrolled Act. that would be something that JD could represent, or could representative could author. Okay, but he couldn't author a Senate enrolled act. Okay, Brandon even says right here on the top, he's the first comment. How was a Senate bill authored by a state representative? And look at this idiot. Robert Grigsby says, Brandon Clower, ? Seriously? Without some letters, because he's hip and cool. Civics, we much? To which Brandon said, I looked up the bill and he isn't listed as an author. The article itself lists him as a sponsor, not the author. I looked it up in the Indiana ILGA, not ILGA, the IGA website, the Indiana General Assembly website. And I said, Robert, much we civics? Apparently, and I left out some letters because I was being hip and cool like he was. Because Senate Enrolled Act 76, which covers immigration matters, was authored by Senator Liz Brown, Senator Chris Garden, and Senator Tyler Johnson. It was co-authored by Senator Scott Alexander. And look, I know that JD wants to be Scott Alexander. Sometimes he pretends like he's him, but he's not. Senator Mike Bohakic, Senator Ed Carabono, Senator Stacy Donato, Senator Jeff Rotz, Senator Mike Young, Senator Ed Koch, and Senator Gary Byrne. The person who is not listed there is J.D. Prescott. Oh, he's not a senator too. I think he wishes he was, but he's not. If Prescott would have authored this, it would have been called House Enrolled Act, which is why I'm sure Brandon asked the question he did. The Indiana House Republicans knew what they were doing here, and it's ridiculous. All right. So he sponsored it, but so did a lot of other people. This is not JD's bill. And for JD Prescott to be standing right here in this picture, getting this done, with this happening, to me, with everything else that's happening, lets me know that there are some serious moves happening here. I don't know what it is. I don't like it, but I'm thinking because another turd in this pile is Jim Banks, and JD Prescott and Jim Banks have always been like attached at the asses or something. I don't know what goes on, but I think JD's like, ooh, because yeah, right. Yeah. Like, yeah, this could work for a lot of people other than the Dan addicts. Because Banks has recently appointed Max Engling as the heir apparent to Diego. I think they're realizing that maybe Jim might believe he's a kingmaker and he can maybe uplift Prescott into some bigger, better role. And what I would like to do is I'd like to send him back to his parents' farm. That's what we have to do. That's the best thing that we could do, is send him back to his parents' farm. Okay. So that's that. I am going to go to the Wednesday, July 1st meeting in Muncie. I'm going to try to talk Brandon into going to it as well. And after that meeting, then we're going to have Bartlett on, and we're going to go through me and Brandon. I think Brandon's going to come on. Me and Brandon and Bartlett are going to go through the bill and talk about all of the good, the bad, the ugly with what he is trying to do here. So his parents won't be farming much if they're sold. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly true. So that's that. Okay, the last thing. We're moving on here. I know it's running long. We're going to be gone in just 1 second. We're going from here. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get to the big topic, the national topic. I want to just share a couple thoughts here, and we will be right back. You guys sit tight, and we'll get into the last part, and we'll get out of here. We'll be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And it is finally time to get into it. And we're going to talk about the bread and circus. Just cannot believe this. UFC at the White House. Okay. I got to say this. Having a July birthday, okay, like Halloween, love Christmas, love these holidays, okay? Having a July birthday, the 4th of July has always been so freaking cool, all right? I've always loved the 4th of July. I am one of those people that love hearing fireworks being shot off from starting about the end of May until like the middle of August. And to hear people griping about that, I don't like it. And look, I know there's a bunch of people that have like PTSD and they've got animals that don't like it and all this stuff. And I feel for all those people. I just myself have been one of those people that I love everything about the 4th of July. I love all of the pop-up mom and pop and big companies that pop up and do the fireworks sale. I like fireworks. The louder, the better, the prettier, the crazier. I think we ought to do. I think the country's birthday should be a month long. Okay. I love everything about the 4th of July. I've always associated it with my birthday. It's summertime. It's great being up. As a little kid, you're staying up late. People don't go work the next, I love the 4th of July, everything about the 4th of July. And the fact that America's 250th birthday is happening this year, I freaking love it. Okay. I love everything about it. I love absolutely everything about it. I'm pro-American. I could not be more pro-American if I tried. I think doing what I do makes me absolutely pro-American. Speaking out, fighting against tyranny, fighting against corruption, fighting against the nonsense. That's as American as it can get, man. I am here for it. There are things that I am majorly pro-Trump on, and there are things that I'm majorly anti-Trump on. I like some of the things that he does, and I don't like some of the things that he does. I'm disappointed in a lot that he's done, both the first time and the second time. And I will be honest, I have said this since before the first time. I will be glad when the Trump era of politics, right, wrong, or indifferent, is over. I'll be glad when we have some new folks to deal with. And that's just where I am with it. Okay. I also, I took martial arts when I was a young kid. I went through the belts. I stuck in it. I was in it for a long time. And on the police department, I was in defensive tactics and really enjoyed all of that. Okay. Love martial arts, love boxing, love fighting, love UFC. I think it's amazing. I love Dana White. Think he does a good job. I saw you guys commenting and talking about all of this at the beginning, and I know a lot of people are not going to see this, and I really hate it. I might cut it down. I absolutely despise the fact that they had the UFC fight at the White House. Was not big into it. I didn't care about it. Kate and I were talking. Her boy was watching the military band that was playing before, and I love all of the pageantry and everything. I wish that we did the big military displays like China does and like the Koreans do when we march all of the armament and all of the men are goose stepping down and the president's sitting up there. I don't care who it is. It's not a king. It's not an emperor. We can do it every 4 years, every 8 years. I don't give a shit. I love all of that. I just don't like mixing sports and entertainment in with politics. I do not like that. That makes me feel so icky. It just is so so gross to me. And I was listening to some other commentary on this today, and I was like, man, I'm really glad that I'm not the only person that like had a problem with this. I'm glad that there are some other people, like really good people. Yeah, what's that about? You've got military saluting the fighters. That's freaking nuts. Absolutely insane to me, man. That it was nuts. And I tell you what, what a way to tie it in, make everything seem so fake. The UFC and fights like that have tried so hard, to not be like professional wrestling, and it's not scripted and all this. But then you do all this hokey shit, and it just seems so hokey. But I listened to this guy, what he had to say. He's a professional fighter, and I shared this, and I want you to listen to this. I absolutely love what this guy had to say, and he was right on about every bit of it. And for people who claim that these people are dumb or they've been hit in the head too many times, this guy is right sharp, and I think he is spot on. I want you guys to hear this.
Did you see that Sean Strickland got banned from the White House for talking about Israel?
I'm not surprised at all. Freedom of speech is what really makes this country great. And when you can't criticize a foreign nation, come on, man, we ought to be able to criticize our own nation, let alone a foreign nation. In fact, that's the only nation you're not allowed to criticize. Something's going to change.
And there's people there that didn't understand. He's not saying that our own nation is you can't criticize. He's saying right now, Israel is the only country you can't criticize. It's okay everybody else, but you just can't say anything about to Israel. And listen, I'm as religious as the next guy, and I get it. Israel's God's chosen people, whatever. The Jews are God's chosen people, okay? And you are to respect Israel, blah, 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 blah. That doesn't mean the government or getting into all, we're real weird with all that shit right now, okay? So just ease up off that, but listen to this. I love this guy.
Be able to criticize our own nation, let alone a foreign nation. In fact, that's the only nation you're not allowed to criticize. Something's going to change because evil empires don't last forever. There's always a rebellion.
What are your thoughts on the UFC White House just in general? Like,
I do want to be on the card.
You do want to be on the card.
I do. And this is what I got to say. First off, I ain't jealous of any of those fighters. I'm so happy for those fighters. If they need me to fill in, if I'm healthy, hey, I'll do it. For the UFC, I think it's great. It's beyond great. It's literally the perfect scenario. But what I think personally is that our government is desecrating its role in society by entertaining sports. Our government is to protect and serve the people, and really should be as minimal as possible. When you're doing all of this stuff, hosting sporting events, it's really outside of what the goal of the government was intended to be, because our tax dollars and resources are funding this operation. And like I said, I'm not criticizing the UFC. I love Dana. I love Hunter. I love Sean, Mick. I love all of them. But the government should never be hosting sporting events because there's more room for corruption, and we already have a corrupted government. The government is supposed to protect us, not entertain us.
Did you see that Sean Strickland got banned?
The government is supposed to protect us, not entertain us. And man, that's really, really spot on. I think that's fantastic. And like you said, for the sport or whatever, it's like, they got to do what they're going to do, but this is just not something that we should be doing. And that's the biggest issue I have with Trump is the over the top, just wanting to be like big and bad and gold. And, you know, look at me. All that I can do with all that. Just do what you're supposed to do. Protect us and keep us safe. Do your damn job, and we don't need anything more. I think that guy was spot on. I think it was great, and I agree with him 1,000%. So that's going to do it for us, folks. You guys have a good rest of your evening. God bless each and every one of you. We will be back tomorrow, God willing, and we will have another great show for you all. I want to thank you and share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word. Click the links and do all of that. Oh, and I want to show you this. I didn't show you this. This was taken right outside the studio this evening, right as I sat down. What a beautiful picture. For all of you people that are saying like, oh, this is not one bit fake. Nothing about this was AI. This was taken on an iPhone camera and just absolutely gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. All right, you guys take care. God bless and goodbye.